it feels to me like the entire planet now has become almost under a blanket of fear. And, this is times are very, very different now. When a recession hits, in America, they say if America gets a cold, then the world gets the flu. And what happens is, because we are so interconnected right now, as you and I are talking, I mean, there are people listening in Africa and in Australia and England and Japan and Singapore, I mean, all over the planet. And there is no such thing anymore as just something that is local. So when enough of us begin to think these fearful thoughts and have them pushed at us all the time about especially this global meltdown financially and so on, that it becomes almost like a worldwide fear influenza, if you will. And it's really important for us to begin to be the people. Like right now, there's thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people listening right now on this show. And we have an opportunity to be the new seeds, if you will, for creating a consciousness of confidence and love and eliminating this idea of fear and that things are going to get worse. Don't ever put your thoughts on how terrible things are going to be unless you want to align with that kind of a consciousness and then create it, which is exactly what is happening on the planet today. And I think we can make that shift. And so the shift is something I think not only that takes place in this film, when people move from ego and power to a sense of meaning and purpose, but we can do this on our planet as well and make that shift. And my ambition on this film is to have 10 million people in the United States and Canada watch this film. And that, I think, will create a critical mass so that we can begin to have people begin to see that we can make these shifts within ourselves, in our own lives, in our own businesses, in our own relationships. And we can also tend to make that then shift outward towards influencing and impacting those around us. It doesn't make any difference where you go. I mean, it's like you just overhear conversations. It doesn't matter whether it's in the yoga studio or whether it's, in restaurants or on the bus or wherever. You can almost see everybody's like terrified. They're worried about, not having enough and that everything is going to disappear on them. And the fact is that we're all fine. This planet is fine. If all we need to do is create more love in our hearts, and we can all work towards supporting each other. And I think this kind of a downturn economically is just a way of cleansing. It's just a cleansing process. It's cleaning out. There was so much greed there, and so many people living way beyond their means and taking out mortgages that they couldn't afford. And this is a cleansing process to get us back to a sense of responsibility. And there's 300 million of us in the United States alone, and there's 6.5 billion of us on the planet. That's a lot of people to feed, and that's a lot of cars that have to be driven, and that's a lot of clothes that have to be manufactured, and endlessly, and phones and so on. If people stop buying cars now, they're going to wear out. We'll buy cars right down the road. It's all fine. I mean, it's like that's sort of the message I want to send to people. So many times the God that we've created is a God of the ego. It's a God that's into revenge and into withholding things and giving things to some people and not to others, and a God that wants you to, that knows how to heal you, but instead is going to let you have cancer, and some people are going to get healed from it and others aren't, and so on. So it's like this whole idea. I mean, I always think of God as that, that divine energy that from which all things originate, to which all things return. And I think that we must be like what we came from. I have a new book coming out in a few weeks called The Shift, Taking Your Life from Ambition to Meaning. And the first chapter is called From. And I've tried to give my take on what spirit means. What does it really mean to understand this concept of God? And so when you say to yourself, I am God, I am a piece of God, there are many people who believe that that's blasphemous, that God is something external to ourselves. I don't think it's possible for us to be separate from that from which we originated and that to which we return. I think that, and if we are, then we are a piece of God. In fact, the highest place within ourselves is what I refer to as God. And some people have a great deal of difficulty with that. And those religious memes are the hardest ones for us to overcome. They really are. I mean, we get told these things when we're kids. I mean, just think how strong religion is on the planet today. I mean, somehow young kids between 12 and 18 years old are being recruited all over the Muslim world to blow themselves up and kill as many innocent people as they possibly can in the name of pleasing God. And they actually believe that, and they wrap bombs around themselves and pull the triggers and blow themselves up because they've come to believe that, this will give me 72 virgins or something, when I die. I mean, religion can do a lot of, just
Right.
very, very
Yeah.
extreme kinds of bizarre things to people, these ideas that we have. For me, I have formulated my ideas about God on the basis of having lived this way and formulating it out of what seems to me to make the most amount of sense. And to me, it's like it's in Corinthians, God is love.